Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Chihayafuru episode 20 review. With me, as always, is Coby. Welcome to the show, Coby.
Hello, happy to be here discussing Chihayafuru, which if you did not know, was back for a third season.
It's back for third season, and it's almost done. If this season turns out to be anything like season 1 and season 2, then it'll end at episode 25, and so in just a month or so, this fun ride will be over. We'll have to wait for another decade for season 4.
I hope not. I hope we continue on this thing because it seems like we're on this path, right? Like this course. Like the first 2 seasons were the beginning, and then seasons 3 and hopefully 4 like the end, right? Like they look like they go hand in hand together. At least that's how I feel like it in my mind.
No, I totally agree. It feels like we're amping up to a long-awaited finale that this show has artfully built up over the several years that it's been on, and I can't wait to see the end of it. And if I have to read the end in a manga, that would kind of suck, but you know what? If that's what it takes to support the show, I'd be willing to go that route. I don't want to, but all I'm saying is, please let there be a season 4.
Please, hopefully these award-winning reviews that we do hopefully spark enough interest from the producers of Chihayafuru to be like, hey, you know what? Enough people like Chihayafuru.
Enough people. These 2 guys like it. It's good enough.
That's enough. That'll do it.
Because
again, we only started watching like literally right before season 3 was announced. So kind of it could be thanks to us that season 3 even happened. At least that's my headcanon.
We affected the cosmos some way. Like there was a drop in the ocean and the ripples went out to Japan somehow.
Exactly. Butterfly effect science. It's all very technical.
Let me ask you a question, Coby. At the end of the last episode, in the Arata versus the Suo match, did you think that was the last match?
Yeah, I 100% did.
Me too.
I absolutely thought that was the final match.
We are so bad, at keeping track of this tournament. It's really quite something else. Because I fully expected it to be resolved at the beginning of this episode. Because I was like, yeah, that's definitely the last match, right? But I fully forgot. It's a best of 5. Arata has 2 wins. Suo has 1. So yeah, no, that didn't happen.
So it could be the final match if Arata wins. And in some ways, I actually do think it did feel like the final match. Because I think after Suo takes that victory, then you know the outcome of the final match. I think the suspense of the final match is kind of dissipated a little bit. From that. So I think in theory, in feeling and emotion, that 4th match is the deciding match. That 4th match is the final match in some ways.
Absolutely. It has the spirit of a final match. It has the energy of it. Because the actual final match really had none of that. It was interesting to see Suo, tie up his ponytail. He's serious. He shaved himself, which was interesting. And then he became all master-like.
That's a weird way to phrase that. I don't know. He shaved himself.
He shaved himself.
That's you don't have to say himself. He's like, he shaved. Like this. I think adding a himself there just makes it sound weird.
Okay, you know what? That is a little weird. I'm sorry I said that. Forget about it. He shaved.
Hey, so
he shaved
yourself to people. It's like, what'd you do today? Oh, I shaved me.
I shaved me.
Yeah.
He shaved him. His face. And he's more masterly. All because of Arata. And the final match, I literally missed the final match in a way because I was watching this with Tori and we were just kind of talking casually while the match is going on. And then boom, in like the blink of an eye, Suo wins the match. It's like, what the fuck? I literally rewound it. I was like, that was the whole match. And I'm a little disappointed by that because it's the final match. It should have been, the 4th match basically should have been the final match. And I could see why it's not, but at the same time, I think they could have found a way to make it the final match. That just would have made it just I don't know, a lot better in my opinion. It would have that emotional peak would have been placed perfectly, if you see what I'm saying. But the fact that it was like the 4th match and then they kind of dragged it out a little bit to the 5th match and then it ended there was a little weird, I think.
Yeah, I kind of hear what you're saying there, and I guess on some level I agree, but like overall I like the more subdued nature. Cause like as I said, it's like the 4th match seems to be is the deciding match, right? Like, if Suo wins this one, then we know Harada is not going to be strong enough for the 5th match, and Suo's going to take this. So it's like it really all lies on that 5th match, on that 4th match. So when the 5th match happens, it's more of a soft, foregone conclusion to something we've known before. And I go back and forth on whether I like that or not, because you're right, it does wrap up just surprisingly quick. Like, all of a sudden, Suo wins by 12 cards. It's like, oh, that's a little surprising. But I just think there couldn't have been any other final frantic life or death thing and drama they could have evoked from that, because we've already experienced 4 matches of different variations of that drama.
It's true. I mean, one of the matches, Harada wasn't really trying, so they kind of glossed over that. I could see how. There is a way to do it. Like, the 4th match, you could have just focused it solely on Suo, whereas what they did was they went into Suo's backstory, and then they also, whenever they showed the actual match, it was kind of like Harada was amping up and stuff like that. And there was a lot of drama there, so you could have maybe lessened that and had it been all about Suo, and then Suo ends up winning, interspersed with scenes of his backstory, and then put all of Harada's intense energy and focus towards the 5th match, and maybe that would have made a much more satisfying conclusion. But in any case, it is what it is. It's a little, I guess it's basically like, like you said. The climax was the 4th match, so it didn't have to be the 5th match to have all that energy.
But let's talk about, I guess, the 4th match for a second, because I think that is a thrilling conclusion. It is very genius. That does more so than just it coming down to luck of the draw, because there's so much that goes into that. Like, I think Suo's technique of making Harada fault because both players know that Harada's card is going to be called first. Like, just deep down, because they know it. They feel it in the card. It's a spirit world, or whatever. Since he knows that, so he has to go above and beyond and make Harada play his game. I just thought was just really awesome.
That's true, and we've seen this before.
Yes, we have, with Taichi.
Yes, Taichi, he did he made his own luck, essentially. And that's basically what Suo did here, except Suo, this ties more into Suo's usual playstyle of faking out the opponent and making them go for cards that they wouldn't have gone for otherwise, for the sole reason that they think Suo's going to go for it. So yes, it is genius that they basically, because we haven't really seen this strategy, poke its head out at all through the whole tournament with him and Harada. At least I don't remember. If I'm wrong, whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't think it has.
But yeah, and for it to come out right at the very end is in fact very smart, because there's been a lot of luck of the draws at this point, and so you could be thinking at this point, luck of the draw, sleeping face, yawn, whatever. But they added that little strategy in, and it made it that much more interesting and a fitting conclusion. So yeah, the way the 4th match ended, I think, ended in a very satisfying way. And yeah, Suo wins. He's a master, which is, I guess, what we expected all along.
Yeah, I think we knew. Maybe is that what I forgot if that's what we expected.
Yep, it's totally what we predicted.
We were never wrong. We knew from a shadow of a doubt that Suo was going to retain the title. But we didn't really discuss. We kind of discussed this a little bit last week, but I think it came. I guess, is that a good transition to the final surprise of the episode?
Yeah,
Suo's story.
Yeah,
that Suo is going to remain the master for another year.
Yeah, we totally
thoughts on
predicted
that.
that.
Your initial thoughts on that. Yeah, we spent. Now I regret it, because we spent so long talking about what it's going to look like when Suo retires, and now it just pulled the rug out from underneath.
Yeah, like, why didn't we even consider that? It's so obvious if you think about it in retrospect. And we were discussing, I think you more so than me, were talking about ways for Suo to remain in the show in a way that was meaningful, because I was thinking, like, well, they're going to be done with Suo at the end of this because he's going to retire. And you very wisely perceived that he still had a role in the show. And this is the way to keep him in the show. Just keep him the master for another year. Duh. It's so damn simple. It's like, I don't know. And that's the thing about the show. Maybe we're just dumb and we just don't think of the obvious solutions, because we think the show is going to go so clever and go in ways we don't expect. which it does, but it also doesn't. Like
it does. It follows the natural path, and that's what it's so genius, because we predict these crazy twisty turns. Harada's gonna die in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
You know,
His knee's gonna explode.
His knee's gonna explode. When that doesn't happen, and it goes the more obvious route, it surprises us, but it still roots those obvious moments in real affection, like this moment, for example, because yes, Suo does remain the master, but it's not. There's two folds to his decision. One, it's kind of what I was saying last week. Harada awakens the fun side of him, where he wants to play this game properly, and it's everything about that. But then there's another factor to it, a really genius factor, that Arata is the one who says, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
Like, stay in this, and then that passion, that fiery, that warmth from Arata makes Suo smile and say, like, okay, let's go another year. It's perfect, and yet I never would have thought, oh yeah, Arata's going to convince him to stay on as master. Like, 100%, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, I guess the best way to describe it is that this show takes the obvious routes, but gives it just enough of a personal twist rooted in some sort of character drama or decision that makes it satisfying. Right. Like if it was just Suo saying, I'm actually, like, you know, he's talking to the interviewer. What if he was just like, yeah, actually I'm going to stay because it was fun. And he was thinking that. He was like, it was fun.
And then he didn't do it.
But he didn't do it. But if he did do it, it would have been like, okay, that makes sense. But for Arata to swoop in and to convince him to do it, and to reaffirm that he should do it when he's thinking about doing it all along, that adds that extra layer of like, oh yeah, that is a good character moment, and it adds purpose to why Arata would come all this way, because he's sick. So yeah, I mean, hats off to the show as always, and yeah, it's great.
It works on a certain character level too, because I actually watched this episode twice, one by myself, one with V. And when I watched the second time, something I didn't notice the first time is that Chihaya was making her way to probably say the same exact thing that Arata was going to do.
Exactly.
Like, she was going to be the one to stop him, and then Arata was like, hold on. Mm-hmm. And that works on so many levels, because it makes sense that Chihaya would do this. It told him, and it also reaffirms of why Arata and Chihaya have this such strong connection, because they both feel so passionately about this. Mm-hmm. Like, it works for all characters.
And the third wheel, Taichi. I love that they've put the spotlight on him just for a moment when Arata convinces Suo to stay on the mat, or as the master, because you get to see Taichi, and there's this swirly purple imagery of representing his, like, ooh, I should have, you know, like, what is the emotion he's feeling there? Is it like anger? Is it like shame? It's like disappointment in himself for not thinking to try to convince Suo to stay. It's like, damn, that should have been me. Just the perfect swirl of emotions that continuously fuels that rivalry between Arata and Taichi. And Arata wins again, basically.
Arata wins again.
He swings and he hits it, and Taichi is left to watch by the sidelines while Arata continues to be the main character, essentially.
Yeah, and this is what's so fascinating about this, because, you know, we've gone back and forth about who's going to challenge for the master, right? Like, who's it going to be? And it's like, sure, we lean towards Arata, like, more so, because that just makes more sense. But and now with this moment, now Arata saying, stay here another year, I'm coming for you, kind of like seems like that's now it's set in stone. Like, Arata is going to be the main one, which puts Taichi's role in such a fascinating spot, because now he's like, what role is Taichi going to play going forward here? Is because you can tell he's on his own path of being like, it seems like he stayed behind to do this tournament because, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna challenge the master next year, right? Like, it's like, I'm gonna be the one to do that. But since it's already, like, seems to be decided that Arata and Suo are going to face each other, like, what role does Taichi play now? And I think that's so fascinating to wonder about his character, where that's going to go, and what role he's going to play for the rest of this story.
Okay, you're going to like this, because I actually have an argument for why Taichi should be the one to face Suo.
Ooh.
And it's something that we've been discussing in the past, which is that Taichi is the perfect student to Harada, because Taichi has been this whole time talking about how he, like, in the very first season, he was kind of hesitant as to whether he should go full on in Karuta or kind of hold back. And he's been sort of, well, if I put everything into this, like, what am I going to get out of it? I'm not even, like, great at this. And Harada kept reminding him, like, well, you haven't even tried. You don't even know. And this whole season has been showing Harada giving his all, even in his 50s, and showing how far he can go. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the match between him and Suo, he's like, I wish I were young again, but even though I'm not, let this be a moment for some young person to watch this and basically make it their own and like get something from this. And who better than Taichi, because Taichi is a student of the Shiranami Society. He doesn't have natural talent, kind of like Harada. Harada, I guess he must have had some game sense when he was younger, but now that he's older, he has to rely on other strategies, much like Taichi does. And he could be the perfect successor to Harada's failure in this episode. And in the following year, if Taichi grows enough and takes Harada's lessons to heart, and Harada pours all of his energy into him, which, he is part of his society, Harada would definitely help Taichi along, basically avenge him against the master. He would be like almost the perfect person to go up against Suo, probably even more so than Arata. I mean, obviously Arata is the god-like figure of this game, but there is an argument to be made for Taichi to be the more interesting character to face off against Suo.
I love that argument, by the way. Like, I love it. I'm so for it. I'm like 100% on board with it, because I totally think it should be Taichi. But that's why I even think, like, because again, as we mentioned, it's like that move that Suo does, the fake out to thing, that's not an Arata move, that's a Taichi move. I think in order to beat someone like Suo, you can't have the traditional Karuta standard of things, because Suo is such an unconditional player, like a not like safe player. You need someone like Taichi who can think exactly like that. Who you say that Taichi is his Harada student. I see a lot of similarities between Suo and Taichi. So it's like those two should be the ones to face off against each other. Mainly because it makes a better story, because Suo is more like Taichi. Let's say down the line, what has to happen is, I guess, both Taichi, it would come down to Taichi and Arata facing off against each other. Winner plays the master, right? Like that would make the most logical sense. Like the way that Arata has to beat Taichi has to be the same way that he beats Suo. And maybe on a character level that works. Maybe Arata's like, oh, the lessons I learned from beating Taichi allow me to help to beat Suo. But from an audience standpoint, it's very similar. It's like it's two similar characters of enemies. It is 100% more, I think, interesting if those two similar characters face off against each other and see who comes out on top. That's why I think Taichi, just from a story perspective, is the better choice. I like all that you said. On a character reason, I totally agree.
Yeah, and it does sound really, really good. Me, even as an Arata fan, I can see the value of Taichi facing off against Suo and even potentially becoming master, because and I think here's another argument for it, I guess, is that, if Arata wins and becomes master, Taichi's role in Karuta is kind of over, I would think.
Yeah, he's going to be done.
He'd move on to medical school and move on to do better and greater things, and that's kind of sad for the trio to just kind of dissolve like that. However, if Taichi becomes master, Arata, there's no way he's going to quit just because Taichi's the master. Karuta loves Karuta. Same with Chihaya. So for Taichi to become the master, it would continue this lifelong rivalry between him and Arata, and it would continue this Karuta trio for the rest of their lives. You could have Arata and Taichi be the master, like trading off. Like maybe one year Arata beats Taichi, the other year Taichi beats Arata. I could see the ending of the show where like maybe Taichi wins, but then there's like a flash forward of like some scenes of them playing over and over again as masters, and you see one year one's the master, one year the other one's the master, and it just keeps on going. And then same with Chihaya, like she continues to be connected to her best friends this way. I don't know. It seems like a very neat solution, I suppose.
From what you said right there, doesn't it seem like a more neat solution if Taichi doesn't play Karuta for like the rest of his life? Because as you said, if Taichi ends up winning, then you're right. Then Arata is just going to challenge next year, and the story is going to continue. But that's not really a final. That's not really a finale, right? Like, couldn't you see it? Like, wouldn't it be more bookended, more close-ended if Arata wins, Taichi quits, and then that's a what am I trying to say? That's just an ending to the story.
Right. I mean, it would be Taichi winning would be an ending to this story, like their high school arc, and then the show / manga could end there. That was the story of them in high school, and sorry, that was my phone. And then them continuing to play in the future is not, it's just the rest of the story. As we're not gonna have more episodes or manga investigating that. It's just kind of like explaining that that life goes on. Life for this Karuta friendship continues into the eternity, where they are at their very best and they continue to play. I mean, that's how it would be even if Arata won too, right? Is that like Arata wins, Arata and Chihaya continue to play Karuta forever, except in this instance, Taichi becomes a med student and never plays Karuta again because his heart is broken. Yeah. It's like, that's kind of sad. And I know that this show is like, there are some very poignant, sad moments, but there's always some ray of hope. Even with the mom, Inoue, I think her name is. Yeah. We were talking about how she was talking about how this is gonna be like her last time facing off against the queen. But then even at the end of this episode, there's still some hope left, because the reader, I forgot her name, but like the famous one, who's been around forever, she tells her like, to me, you're still young, and I think you'll be back. So in the moment, there's some really heart-wrenching moments to the show, and like a lot of finality to it. But I think ultimately the show tends to be more optimistic than pessimistic, I suppose, or cynical, I guess.
So you say just a more optimistic ending would be setting it up for the story continues, basically, like after the cameras stop rolling, after there's no more episodes, but they're going to go back and forth playing Karuta forever. Yeah,
and that's that just makes sense, right? Because their friendship has been building up this whole time, and what a happy ending it would be to see it continue forward. Because with Taichi, if Taichi doesn't play Karuta with them, I mean, they can still hang out, but that's definitely like
that's like their thing. I don't know what they go to the movies.
And then they went to the movies together for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
And Taichi was always the third wheel. And it's like, another thing is this, it would, because, okay, I am team Arata, definitely with regards to the love triangle with Chihaya. So and I've made this argument before, where it's like, if Arata, I've sort of made this argument before. So if Chihaya and Arata get together, who does Taichi have? And there's Kana, there's the other chick, I forgot her name.
The one who's like his viable love interest. The one who loves him.
The purple-haired chick.
Shinobu or something?
No, I don't think it's Shinobu.
It's Sumire. It's Sumire
or whatever,
right? Sumire, yeah.
Yeah. So who does Taichi have? It could just be one of these girls, or why not Karuta? Chihaya and Arata get each other, and Karuta, Taichi gets the trophy.
Yeah.
Everyone gets something, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Anyways, I can't believe I just argued for Taichi being the master for like 5 or 10 minutes. What happened to you?
You did, and you made a really solid point. You made a better point than I could ever have. I would have just been like, Taichi deserves to be the master because he's awesome. Like, that was like my argument.
Because he's lonely.
Because he's lonely, and he deserves it, because he tries so hard, and he's working hard at it. He doesn't have the natural game sense. He has to build himself up to be the talented person in order to do this. Like,
yeah, I mean, at its core, like, I love all these characters. I even love Taichi. Taichi's a great character. I just think that not for Chihaya. I think Chihaya and Arata, come on, they have to get together. For my money, please. And then Taichi can win master. I'm cool with that.
Give him master. If you can't have love, give him master.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just to transition a little bit, because I want to talk about both of Harada's and the mom's NOK's reaction to losing. Because I think I said last week that I would have been a little upset if we don't see more from the reaction from the mom. But I think what I was expecting is both of these people just to be crushed, just to be super sad. And we got one instance of it with NOK crying afterwards, because it is tough, everything. Mm-hmm. But Harada was more happy, and I want to get your read on that situation, because I think the more I think about it, the more I like it, because he gave it his best. Like, he's not sad he is sad that he's lost, of course, but he knows that he tried the best that he could, and he took Suo farther than anybody else could have. And I think that was enough for Harada to be happy, especially when he finds out that somebody else is going to be challenging him and Suo's going to be there, and that huge heartfelt laugh that he gave at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that reaction to it, other than like a really sad reaction. Do you think it's in character is what I'm trying to get at?
I definitely do. And the thing is, Harada is, in my mind at least, he's like the epitome of a man, what a man should be, especially an older man, like an elderly man. And he's the kind of guy that gives it his all, but he's not the type to, like, shed tears. And I don't even, has he shed tears this whole show? Maybe a little bit.
I think when he cried when they joined the Shinomu Society, or Shiranami Society, like, you're joining.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like he's not the type to cry over a loss, because he's at that age now. He doesn't need to cry. Yeah. He gave it his all. He gave it his best. And then even at the end of it all, when he realized he was going to lose, he had a positive spin on it. He was like, well, I came this far, wish I was younger, but at the very least, someone else will watch me play and they'll take something from this. And that's, like, to me, like, ultimate manliness right there. Like, yeah, just a really positive, hearty attitude about everything, even after a crushing defeat like that. So, yeah, totally. I think it's in character, and Harada laughing at Harada challenging him, I think, was very appropriate. And we already had a sad react from the Chihaya Inoue. So, two sides of the same coin, I guess.
Yeah. And what about the final thing? One, the mom, Shinobu's mom, just the worst. I hate Shinobu's mom.
Yeah, totally.
When she's like, what were you, like, who won the match? Like, I don't care. Like, you were supposed to be watching this.
So she's definitely the sole reason why Shinobu had any doubt about her grandma, which I think at this point, right, like, his grandma, or Shinobu's grandma, wasn't using her as advertisement. That's just what her mom thought.
Yeah, right? I'm still torn on that. I still think Shinobu's grandma both could want to use her as a prop, but also still care about her. Like, she could still use her for advertising, but also be like, yeah, I want her to win and do well.
Yeah, I think that, there is still definitely some room to explore there, and I think we're going to see that probably in the next season. So that's interesting that they kind of left that to be concluded. But I think we finally got the answer for why Shinobu decided to come back, and it was because of Chihaya, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that whole scene where she's folding out her, I forgot what they're called, but they're basically the wraps, and how it ended up being like
Sukai or something.
And it ended up being Chihaya's, like, cut up signed Daddy Bear merchandise, which is what connects them. And that's
I guess really deep, because that's signed, right? Like, that's signed by them. So that means, and that's a really great moment, because you know how much both of these characters love that. Mm-hmm. So Chihaya took one of her prized possessions, cut it up to make it one of those, and gave it to her. Yeah. Right? Or it wasn't already one? Was it before she got there?
I'm pretty sure she cut it up because
beforehand, like, she came here specifically, and she was using it herself as one of those kimono tire-uppers.
Right, yeah. I think Chihaya cut it up during the tournament to give to Shinobu because she saw her having issues with her sleeves. So she's like, here, I'll just make a thing, even though maybe they sell those there. I don't know. But yes, it's a sign of their friendship.
Out of one of my prized possessions, something we both love.
It's, totally a Chihaya move. And I guess I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Shinobu's reason for coming back just being Chihaya, and the fact that she was just there for her when no one else was. And speaking of Chihaya, sorry, I just wanted to talk about, like, her reaction to Suo making Harada go for the card when he didn't want to. That's a lot of hate from Chihaya that we haven't seen in this show thus far.
Yeah, and she calls it out. She's just like, when I think of Suo, I have these dark negative emotions for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know how
she wants revenge.
She wants revenge, and that's why she was going to be because her mini arc of this was just like, yes, I want to face the master, but it's like, I can't, but somebody can. And she looks, and then it's a flash of both Taichi and Arata together. So she's and that's kind of what it goes back to the theme not the theme of the show. It's like one of the themes of the show is like what Harada says. It's like a team match is a singles match, and a singles match is a team match, because she can't challenge the master, but Arata or Taichi could, and they're part of her team. They are a team, those two. So if one of them beats Suo, then it's kind of like her beating Suo too. So it's okay, and that's just nice.
Okay, I'm gonna make another argument for Taichi being the master. Okay,
Sweet.
check this out. Ready?
Okay.
When Chihaya says, "I can't beat the master, but someone else can," you see, like you said, the shot of Taichi and Arata. You see Taichi's on the stairs, slightly elevated above Arata.
Higher up.
And Arata also is sick with the coronavirus.
Yeah,
So-
I thought that too. It was like, this is a very timely episode. He's running around coughing over everything.
Anyway, yeah, so that's very representative of the outcome of who's gonna challenge Suo. Yeah. Pretty good, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because
Foreshadowing,
Arata
foreshadowing.
is sick and Taichi has the high ground. Taichi is going to come out on top. You know, it was a really weird scene. For
What?
thinking of weird scenes, when they're sitting there and they're just like, "Hey, Taichi, let's move up a little closer. There's some spots over there," and then it pans to where there's open spots, and then they move over there. Like it's
Yeah, was
like,
that necessary?
One, it's like, why were those spots empty for so long? Two, why did the people behind that who was sitting behind those spots not scoot up? Like what? Like there's so much story behind that. Like I'm just like, why was that necessary?
Yeah, they didn't resolve that. That's a plot hole. There's a hole in the
is.
plot.
That is probably the biggest plot hole in Chihayafuru is like, where did those empty spots come from on like the fourth, or it's like, was it the fourth or final or fifth match?
I believe it was the final match. Actually, it could have been the fourth one too. I don't know. It was an important match nonetheless, with 2 empty spots.
Yeah, it was like
pointless
right
spots.
before the final card was pulled, so it's like they moved closer. So somebody was sitting in that front row, and then they decided, it's like, oh, this is really intense. I'm gonna leave.
Or they had to use a bathroom or something, and then Chihaya
Yeah.
stole it. Yeah. Damn, that's explained to the manga more. You have to read the manga to get that storyline.
It's a whole backstory. It's a whole side plot.
Yeah.
An OVA.
It's an OVA. The story of the open seats in the front row. Let's see. Sorry, you were gonna say something earlier, but I cut you off, and I don't know if you still want to say what you said earlier. But what was it?
I don't even remember. Maybe something that's just like, yeah, because this episode really was about setting the stage. Because both Shinobu's just like, I can't wait for next year's Queen match because she wants to play Chihaya, and Arata's like, you're staying because I'm going to challenge you next year. So we're on episode 20. Yeah, as you said, previous seasons go to season 25. But really, I'd say you could probably make the case that this season should end like in the next 2 episodes. Like, I just don't know what else could be 5 episodes of story to lead into the final season, you know?
Well, there is the tournament that's happening right after this.
Tournament. Have we ever heard of this tournament before? What is this tournament?
The something memorial tournament. No, I don't think we have heard of it. We know that this is most likely the tournament that Arata said he was trying to recover for.
Oh, it's the singles tournament. Oh man, that is the one that he's playing for. You're absolutely right. So do you think before this season ends, we're gonna see a Taichi v Arata?
That would be very spicy.
That would be a great way to end the season, right? Like that's like their first meetup in an unofficial, not qualifying match.
Yeah, no, you're right. That would be awesome. I would want to see more than one Taichi versus Arata, so this would be the way to do it in a very inconsequential tournament, essentially.
But there is so much on the line here.
Inconsequential, but consequential. Yeah, consequential for characters, inconsequential in terms of qualifying for tournaments. Unless this is a qualifier for another tournament we don't know about. Well, I don't
They're
think
just
so.
throwing out tournaments. Like,
Yeah. And then there was the other tournament.
Yeah, who do you think can be in this tournament? Like, I mean, like we're probably gonna see Pseudo, right?
Pseudo,
Like
yeah.
the Pseudo's probably gonna be in. I'm gonna guess everyone from that side, everyone from that school, Skeletor.
Yeah, Skeletor. Probably. God, I don't remember the name, but
Rion.
Rion, yeah.
will probably
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, Rion.
Because she's been around. They make her prominent like in every episode. Like they flash to her like a lot. Like
True.
because she was there and she was there for. So I bet she's going to play an important part, especially because that makes sense for a season ender because the first episode of the season started with a very Rion focus. So it'd be fitting if it ends with her.
Yeah. So you could have a couple episodes with a tournament, maybe even 3, and then the next 2 after that just be a build up for the next year, and we would hopefully get some more moments of the rest of the team because I feel like the rest of the squad has been very neglected. So it'd be nice to just get them all together again and get some good old Kana, Glasses, Porky action. And the other two guys can be there too.
Was this season the one where I just can't remember what the team has done this season? Like, did Destimo have a thing about not playing? Because that was all this, or was that in season 2? What has happened with Destimo and Porky this season?
Porky, pretty much nothing. I think with Destomu, I think him not playing was this season. Was this the season where they introduced the new characters?
No, that was season 2.
That was last season. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and all that drama. That's what, I'm just saying, just like, yeah, those other characters have had nothing. I don't think so.
They've been watching from the sidelines. Kana and Sumeri-chan have been like watching the whole romance triangle unfold. They've been our stand-ins.
Yeah, they're more invested in the love triangle than Taichi, Arata, and Chihaya are.
Yeah. There's a great little scene in this episode relaying that. But yeah, no, not really much. I mean, I think Porky's done, right? Like, he's just like forever on the back foot.
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, what you can do, because it would make sense if maybe Porky was in this tournament, or even Destimo was in this tournament, or even Kana was in this tournament. You know, like if any of them were in this tournament, that would have made sense. But it seems like that is the last thing from any of their minds.
Yeah, because they're all going on the subway home, and Taichi is the only one that stayed behind because I guess apparently this memorial tournament is taking place close by to the Masters tournament. So yeah, they're not going to be there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So anyways, yes, give us a couple episodes of those guys, please.
I agree.
Is there anything else you want to discuss for this episode?
No, man. You know, there was actually a point of me that thought about, like, when I was at the end of this episode, I was just like, there isn't going to be that much to talk about. But this turned into, like, I think one of our better discussions. This was a great discussion.
Yes, it was, and a very lengthy one at that. So.
Agreed. Oh crap, we're already at, yeah, wow, probably our longest one yet.
Kobe, would you like to sign us off?
Sure, you've been watching this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for all who have commented before and talking about Chihayafuru. We love talking about the show, and obviously sometimes we need some help because we didn't even know that this one was, we thought the 4th match was the final match. But we also like, you know, discussing all sorts of things about the show. Go check out our channel. We do a lot of cool videos kind of like this. If you like Chihayafuru, you got to check out this video that Jeff did. If you haven't checked it out already, it is a great one about why he was wrong about Chihayafuru, because a witch cursed him at a very young age, that made him have bad opinions about things. But then the witch died in a fire, and then he was able to lift that curse, and then he watched Chihayafuru again, and he loved it. So you got to check out the video. It's crazy. Along with some of the other stuff. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.